Hello, this is my review on the Sega Game Gear. This is my first blind review. My blind reviews are where I review a product and it's like I don't cut and take gameplay from one thing, then gameplay from another. I just review it or the game in not in one whole video, but I don't just like go and take clips and put them together. And also sometimes blind reviews are for things I've barely tested out on or have not tested out on. This is one of those things I only tested out on to see if it worked. And let me tell you my experience. Now first, it requires 6 AA batteries, and for what I've heard, even though I haven't been able to explore with it, is that it lasts for 5 hours only. So yeah. Also, the Sega Game Gear is pretty old, but still, Game Boy didn't take that much. It has these 3 and these 3. Now, finally, after like looking through all of my junk, I found it. And yes, this is an iTouch in the background, my sister's. Now, here, I'll just move this stuff out of the way. Now, let's take a look at the product. Now, you see, when I first started it, the screen was completely blank. I put in the game, I took it out, I put it in, and the game I'm just going to test with is Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I'm not going to review this game in this part. That won't be fair because it's a review of the console, but I'll do a separate review for this. And so, it's very clunky feeling, and it doesn't feel very well, and it's huge. The Game Gear, when I first, so let me go with my problem. So the screen was all blue and yellow. I kept on working on. I tried changing the volume. I tried changing the brightness, which only made the screen like white. It didn't do much of a difference. Because I heard this thing actually runs out after a while, and that kind of messes it up. So here's the basic idea. Let me see if it will still happen. Yeah, you see that happened? Well, it also happened. I think this is supposed to happen when you don't have the game in. But when I put in the game, it wouldn't work either. But I fixed it. So, the cartridges, let's take a look at them. I'm going to get more games, but for now I only have this one. It's kind of big, but it was for back then, and it looked okay. I'm going to go compare it to a Game Boy game. Which the main difference was that Sega Game Gear had color. And Game Boy, no. Okay, so now I'm going to show you my Game Boy game. Sorry for the long wait, but you didn't even see it. Let's try them. I actually don't have a Game Boy, I just have a Game Boy Advance. But the games are the same in size, like almost. But Sonic the Hedgehog 2 and all the other cartridges for Game Gear are a lot fatter. Ah, you heard that? I'm fatter than you. Wait, no one wants to talk to a fat game. And no one wants to play with one. It's a pain to carry. You'll have to have like 40 cases. For me, you just have to have this one huge case. But for you have to have like 25 cases. There was a Game Gear case. Yeah, but you don't get one. Oh. Well, wasn't me, it was him. Okay, whatever. This is really dumb, and no one watching the review is gonna like this. Okay, just Sonic rocks more than Pokemon. What? Yeah, because Sonic's way more realistic. I mean, every day you see a hedgehog jumping around, killing people, jumping on them, and going fast. What? That's not true, but every day you see mouses shooting electricity. While 10-year-olds go running around throwing Pokeballs at people. Okay, back to the review. Sorry about that. if you guys watch the full thing, of course. I'm trying to be funny, can't think of anything. So it was a lot easier, I guess, to hold a Game Boy game, but not too much. Game Boy games still feel heavier, though. What? Shut up. So there. Now, this is a huge thing to carry around. So the main idea is it worth your money? Let's see. You have to hold it at a weird position to see it. That happens once it ages. And then you always have to change the brightness. Right here, right there. The controls, they work, but it just feels really clunky. Like, it's hard to use. And the power switch, it's okay. Okay, produced by, or it's kind of hard to see. I can see anything. The volume is actually really good. I mean, it couldn't compare to nowadays, but I think it's nice. Now, it's pretty hard to see, but look. Actually, I'm not even sure if you guys can see it at all. Yeah. So, I think the controls, although they feel clunky, they work fine. There's the 1 and 2 button. Both of them apparently jump in this game, but that's not a review. Ah, so the screen is very small. That is a problem I've heard. So the main cool thing about the Game Gear was the fact that it was so easy on it to port Sega, I think Master or Genesis or games to it, like Sonic the Hedgehog 2. And because of that, very few games on it were just available to it. I think like 33, and only like a few of them were actually even released in America, like 10 or 20. I really don't know, I'm sorry. Let's go to the history lesson. So this was a console made by Sega to compete with the Game Boy, saying they had color and better volume, and according to them, didn't just have a puzzle game. And it was released at the same time as the Sega Genesis, which was a while ago. And the main idea, the cool thing was, you could so easy to port Sega Genesis games to it, and that was a big problem. Like, well, that was a good thing, first off, because they looked really well on it. The graphics were really good for the time. I think they could still compare to the Game Boy Advance. But the main problem was that there were rarely any games exclusive to it. I'm surprised that actually wasn't a problem talked about anywhere that I saw. There were like 33, like I said, and I think 10 were released here. And for Sega Genesis games, like Sonic, in Sonic you would normally have this huge screen, so you could continue and walk, like, see that? Normally I would have been able to see the fire, now I didn't even see the fire, and that was a problem for a lot of the games. You would just not be able to see the end of the screen. Like, I didn't even know that fire was coming on. Also, I'm doing really bad at this game right now because I'm looking at it through the camera. So, I think, like, that was a main problem for games that like this, where if you move, like, I can't even, normally I'd be able to see what I'm about to fall down on like that, but I can't. And I just walk right into a fire pit, not knowing. And that was a problem. I wish there were more first-party games on it. Okay? So, Oh, glitch. Okay. Okay, I took it out. I'm gonna turn this off. That was unusual. Maybe. Okay, so I'm gonna turn this back on. Now I'm gonna put my game back in. Let's see if it works now. Yeah, okay, it works. Hope this doesn't happen normally. You can comment. Okay, see, volume's great. So now I have to give my overall score. My opinion, if you really want like $25, you can find it on eBay for like $25 less dollars. And there are a lot of games available for a very low price on eBay too. And you just want to relive an old game, yeah, but if you're going to give a gift to your like nephew or whatever, it's old. And if you have $100 on you, like if you had to pick between a DS or a Game Gear or a Game Boy Advance or a Game Gear, it's obvious that you go with the DS. There are a lot of games available for it, but it was mainly for kids too, so like for the adult, you don't just go all like, no, I'm gonna get a lot of hardcore games on it. I will be reviewing more games for it, hopefully Sonic the Hedgehog 2 also. And so, my overall score is 7 out of 10. For my blind reviews, I'll give numbers instead of thumbs up and all. I'm gonna ask my sister what she thinks about it quickly for younger kids. Sorry, the video crashed for a second, so it's kind of hard for my sister. She's not good with this.
I don't even know how to play.
Just press the 2 button. Or start button.
Well, dang.
No, you're not playing yet. That's just the screen. Start. Sega. How's the volume sound? Good?
Good.
For
this
one. Now start. Press start. Don't the buttons feel a little clunky?
Yeah.
Start again. Now you see, not a lot of games were actually only for this console. I hope.
Oh, dang. Yeah.
So, do you think the screen's a little small? Like you can't even see ahead of you? You press 2 to drop or 1, whatever feels better. Do you feel the screen's a little bit small? Like you can't see very far ahead?
Yeah, that's
the problem.
That's the reason I didn't know there was lava there.
Yeah, that was the thing. There weren't many games made especially for this. Especially for other consoles just ported here, and the screens were kind of small. So are you done with this review?
Sure. I'm just in the middle of beating the level.
So you're actually interested in it. And the graphics kind of look like Game Boy Advance style, and this was a few years before that.
Dang it.
Okay, I think. Well, tell us your score out of 10.
8 no.
Wait,
7.5 out of 10.
That's what I said, too.
Oh my gosh.
So,
that means we agree.
So, there's one thing. Now, if you had $100 lying around, would you either spend $25 to get this from eBay and maybe a few games, or spend the $100 on getting a DSi? Not 3DS, you couldn't afford it with that.
Do lots of people have those?
Not anymore, really.
Then I'd probably get that.
I'd say DS, but you say that? Okay. So then you
Because it's rare and I want to show what happened.
So you trade your DS.
I'd want to show my kids.
You trade your DS for this.
Yeah. I'd want to show my kids like
what your parents
what my
had.
parents would play.